Nick Newman had always believed control was something you could reclaim if you pushed hard enough. Life had tested that belief more than once, but this time felt different. This wasn't business. It wasn't a family disagreement. This was something darker, something that had already clawed its way back from the past he thought was buried. Matt Clark was alive, worse, he was organized. Nick stood in a dimly lit room on the outskirts of town, the kind of place that didn't ask questions and didn't keep records. His phone sat on the table, screen glowing with messages that confirmed his fears. Matt had been spotted. Riza Thomson was seen with him, and wherever Riza went, trouble followed. Nick exhaled slowly, trying to steady his thoughts. He had told himself he would handle this alone, that involving others would only increase the risk. But the pattern was already forming in his mind. Matt wasn't just resurfacing, he was building leverage. Nick's instincts told him Adam needed to be warned. Across town, Adam Newman sat in his office, staring at a poker chip he had no memory of bringing there. It was small, worn at the edges, but familiar enough to make something uncomfortable stir in his chest. A part of his past he rarely acknowledged, a version of himself he preferred to keep locked away. Spider. The name alone carried weight he didn't want to carry again. A knock at the door broke his thoughts. Victor Newman entered without waiting for permission, as usual. His presence filled the room immediately, authoritative and unreadable. "You've been distracted," Victor said, not bothering with pleasantries. Adam leaned back slightly. "I've been working." Victor's eyes narrowed. "Not enough. Matt Clark has been seen in proximity to Riza Thomson. That changes things." Adam's expression hardened. "So Nick's chasing ghosts again." Victor stepped closer. "This is not a ghost. This is a man who knows how to manipulate weaknesses, yours included." Adam didn't respond right away. The mention of his past wasn't accidental. Victor rarely spoke without intent. "You think he'll come after me?" Adam said. Victor gave a subtle nod. "Not directly, he prefers leverage." Adam glanced down at the poker chip again. A quiet tension built in the room, one neither of them needed to verbalize. Nick, on the other hand, had already started moving. He followed a lead that took him to a warehouse near the edge of town. The exterior looked abandoned, but subtle signs suggested recent activity. Lights that flickered at irregular intervals. Vehicles parked just out of sight from the main road. Nick approached cautiously, keeping to the shadows. He had done enough recon to know that rushing in would be a mistake. Matt Clark didn't operate without preparation. Inside, voices echoed faintly. Nick recognized one of them. Riza Thomson. He edged closer to a partially open door, just enough to see inside without revealing himself. Riza stood near a table, speaking with two men Nick didn't recognize. Matt wasn't visible yet, but the atmosphere made it clear he was nearby, orchestrating everything from behind the scenes. Nick's phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. "You're closer than you think." Nick's pulse quickened. Before he could react, a firm hand gripped his shoulder from behind. He turned, but not fast enough. A sharp motion followed, and the world tilted as something struck him from the side. His vision blurred as he struggled to stay upright, but the second figure moved quickly, restraining him before he could recover. Matt Clark stepped into view. Calm, controlled, watching. "Nick Newman," Matt said, as if greeting an old acquaintance. "Still chasing problems that don't want to be found." Nick fought against the grip holding him in place. "You won't get away with this." Matt smiled faintly. "I already have." Within minutes, Nick was subdued and taken deeper into the facility. The location wasn't random. It was designed for containment, hidden exits, controlled access points, a place where no one would hear a struggle. Matt observed quietly as Nick was secured. "You always underestimate how predictable you are," Matt said. "You walk into traps thinking you're the one setting them." Nick said nothing. He was assessing, calculating, finding angles even in restraint. Matt turned slightly, addressing Riza. "Everything's in place." Riza nodded. "No loose ends." Matt's gaze returned to Nick. "Good, because this one is going to matter." Nick's eyes didn't waver. "Whatever you think you're building, it ends here." Matt tilted his head slightly, amused. "No, it begins here." Far from the warehouse, Adam received a call. Victor's voice came through. "Oh, Nick is missing." Adam stood up immediately. "Missing how?" Victor didn't soften the answer. "Taken." Silence followed. Adam's grip tightened on the phone. Then we already know who's responsible, he said. Victor responded with a measured tone and what they want. Adam looked out the window, his reflection staring back at him like a reminder he didn't want. They want leverage, Adam said. Victor confirmed it, and you are the next moves. Adam closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, the hesitation was gone. Then we play, Adam said. Victor didn't ask what that meant, he already knew. Matt Clark was about to force a game that had nothing to do with cards and everything to do with survival. The room was set. A single table, clean surface, chairs positioned with deliberate symmetry, soft lighting overhead that created a controlled atmosphere rather than comfort. Matt Clark stood at one end, observing as everything came together. A poker table had been arranged at the center of the room exactly as planned. This wasn't decoration, it was a stage. Nick remained secured in a separate area, out of sight but not out of reach. His condition had been carefully managed, weak but conscious, enough to be a bargaining chip. Riza approached Matt. "Oh, he's ready," she said. Matt nodded, good. Adam arrived under guard, though he didn't resist. There was no point. Resistance would only delay what he already understood was inevitable. When Adam entered the room, his eyes immediately scanned the layout. The table, the exits, the positioning of the guards, then his gaze shifted briefly as he caught sight of Nick through a partially open partition. That was enough. Matt noticed the reaction. "You see him," Matt said calmly. "Good, motivation matters." Adam stepped forward. "If this is about money, we can negotiate." Matt let out a small, almost dismissive breath. "This isn't about money." Adam met his gaze. "Then what do you want?" Matt gestured toward the table. "The game." Adam's expression tightened. He already knew where this was going. "Poker," Matt continued. "You used to be very good at it." Adam didn't respond. Matt placed a deck of cards on the table. "One game, high stakes." Adam glanced at Nick again. "And if I refuse?" Matt's tone remained steady. "Then your brother loses his life, slowly. I've already ensured his condition won't improve without intervention." Adam's jaw clenched. Matt continued, "Or you play, win, and he walks out alive, lose, and I remove him from the equation permanently." Adam stepped closer to the table. The room felt smaller now, the pressure concentrated around the decision he was being forced to make. "What's stopping you from killing him anyway?" Adam asked. Matt smiled faintly. "Honor among criminals is a flexible concept, but I do enjoy watching people believe they have control." Adam sat down. Matt followed suit. The cards were dealt. The game began. Each hand carried more weight than the last. Adam relied on instincts he had long suppressed, patterns he recognized but rarely used anymore. Matt played differently, not reckless, not predictable, calculated, patient. Behind the scenes, Riza monitored Nick's condition. Matt had ensured that Nick remained unstable, not immediately dying, but close enough to make the outcome dependent on time as much as the game itself. Adam noticed subtle changes in Matt's behavior, a confidence that suggested he believed the outcome was already decided. But Adam wasn't playing for pride. He was playing for his brother. As the game progressed, tension built with each reveal of cards. Neither man spoke much, every move carried implication. At one point, Matt leaned slightly forward. "You've changed," Matt said. Adam didn't look up. "People do." Matt's eyes narrowed slightly. "No, not like this, you're holding back." Adam responded without hesitation. "I'm focused." Matt tapped the table lightly. "Focus won't save him." Adam finally looked up. That was the moment the dynamic shifted. Matt saw it. Adam had reached a point where hesitation was no longer part of the equation. The final hand approached. Nick's condition worsened slightly in the background, unnoticed by most but carefully tracked by Matt's people. The stakes were now fully realized. Win and Adam walks out with Nick alive. Lose and Matt ensures Nick never leaves. Adam placed his final bet. Matt studied him for a long moment before responding. The cards were revealed. Silence filled the room. Adam's hand was strong, strong enough to win under normal circumstances. Matt's expression changed subtly, not panic, not surprise, calculation. Then Matt leaned back. A slow smile formed. You played well, Matt said. Adam didn't relax. Matt continued, but this isn't over. Without warning, alarms sounded in the facility. Riza turned sharply. Matt's gaze shifted toward the source of the disruption. Nick. The situation had begun to destabilize. Adam stood immediately, recognizing that the agreement might no longer hold. Matt's composure remained intact, but his eyes reflected something new, a shift in priority. You think this ends with a hand of cards, Matt said quietly. Adam moved toward Nick's direction, but guards stepped in. Matt raised a hand. Let him pass. The guards hesitated, then complied. Matt watched as Adam reached his brother. For a brief moment, the tension eased. But Matt wasn't finished. He spoke from behind them. This isn't just about survival, Matt said. It never was. Adam turned slightly. Matt's tone hardened. It's about control, and control doesn't disappear because one game ends. Nick, weak but conscious, looked at Adam. We need to get out, Nick said. Adam nodded. Matt didn't stop them. Instead, he stepped aside, allowing them to leave. Because in Matt's mind, the outcome had already been shaped. This wasn't a loss. It was a setup for the next move. As Adam and Nick exited, Matt remained behind, already planning the continuation of his strategy. The Newman brothers had survived this round. But Matt Clark had not revealed his final hand.